Welcome to Greek Verse a Day. Today we're translating Revelation 2:20. As always, you should be working from your Reader's Edition of the Greek New Testament, looking to the screen for support. By way of context here in Revelation 2:19, we have Jesus, and even before 2:19, we have Jesus addressing the angel over the church in Thyatira. And in 2:19, he has said some positive things about that church. And now we're going to get a shift in Revelation 2:20, as is often the case, following the structure of Revelation of saying some positive things and then turning towards the rebuke of the church in Thyatira, or specifically the angel over the church in Thyatira. So let's start with a slow reading, do a little bit faster reading, give you a chance to pause, see what you can make sense of in the verse, and then I will jump in with my comments. Allah echo kata su hati aphes tain gunaika eazabel he legusa heautain prophetin kai didaske kai plana tus emus doulos pornusai kai phagein idolathuta. One more time, a little bit faster. Ala echo kata su hati aphes tain gunaika eazabel he legusa heautain prophetin kai didaske kai plana tus emus doulos pornusai kai phagein idolathuta. So at this point, go ahead and pause the video, see what you can make of the verse before unpausing and having me jump in for some help. All right, so right from the beginning, we get this nice contrasting word, Allah, meaning but. So remember, we've had some nice things said, some positive things said about the church in Thyatira, and now we're going to get that shift, that turn, or that contrast with the word Allah. But I have, echo is going to be our main indicative verb in the sentence, so a present active indicative, first person singular. I have, with a prepositional phrase, kata su. Kata, our preposition, with the genitive following it, in this case the genitive personal pronoun, second person singular, you. So I have against you hati. Remember, hati can serve as sort of it marks the content that follows. So sometimes it serves as sort of quotation marks. Sometimes we translate it like a colon. In this case, you'll often see it translated something like this. I have against you this. Or we could even do that, which is one of the ways that you memorize it as vocabulary. I have against you that, and then this whole bit next is going to be the content of what Jesus has against the church in Thyatira. That, aphes, this is another indicative verb here. This one, a me verb. You get a note on this in your Reader's Edition. It's a second person singular present active indicative. And here, so it's normally sort of release or forgive. Here it normally gets translated tolerate. I have against you that you tolerate. And what is tolerated is tain gunaika eazabel. So notice how tain gunaika is in the accusative here, accusative feminine. And eazabel, Jezebel, is a name, in this case probably a sort of symbolic name, probably not an actual person named Jezebel. But as a name, some names are indeclinable. Remember, an indeclinable word is one that doesn't change its form to look different for the different cases. So Eazabel does not look any different, even though it is still in the accusative case, because it's going with tain gunaika, the woman Jezebel. And then all of this, what follows here, is going to tell us more information about the woman Jezebel. We'd actually, properly speaking, or grammatically speaking, we'd like this right here. This is going to be a participle. This should probably be in the accusative case to match Tain Gunaiken and be sort of in apposition to it, further describing the woman Jezebel. But John puts it in the nominative case. This is one of those examples of John not quite being grammatical. But as a participle, so this is a present active participle, nominative feminine singular, our noun information given to us from this hey here, the nominative feminine singular definite article, the one saying, or the one claiming in this case. And what she is claiming is heauton propheten, or we might even say the one calling. The one calling heautain, this is a reciprocal pronoun in the accusative case, herself. Remember, a reciprocal pronoun reciprocates action towards self, so herself. And we know it's herself here because we have the feminine ending. And then another accusative following it, the one calling herself a prophet. So this construction here is what we would call, in grammatical terms, a double accusative. The participle takes two different objects. One is the reciprocal pronoun herself. The other is what she actually calls herself, a prophet. So not only does Jezebel call herself a prophet, she teaches. Didaske, nice simple present active indicative third person singular verb. And then another one that follows it. Plana, in this case, it's from planao. And if you remember this alpha right here, this tells us this is a certain kind of verb. Can you remember what kind of verb this is? That's right, a contract verb. Contract verbs end in either alpha, omega, epsilon, omega, or omicron, omega. And you'll never see them looking like this in the wild, as it were, because they undergo contraction, that those vowels come together, the vowel of the stem and then the vowel of the ending, and they contract. And that's what's happened here. We have this contraction, the sign of contraction being that circumflux long accent there. And the iota of the third person singular ending has gone under the alpha. So this is where the contraction has occurred. But in any case, we have the exact same parsing information as didaske, a present active indicative third person singular. So she teaches and she deceives, and whom she teaches and deceives is tous emus doulos, my slaves. So we have the possessive adjective stuck in between the definite article and the word for slaves or servants. And she teaches and deceives my slaves to do certain actions. So we have two infinitives that follow here. One, an aorist active infinitive, the other a present active infinitive. These are both aorist active infinitives because phagain is a second aorist. It's from estheo. It's one of those particularly troublesome second aorist where the second aorist looks absolutely nothing like the first aorist. So both of these aorist active infinitives, this one a first aorist, this one a second aorist. And these are what we would call infinitives of result, that the actions result in something. So she teaches my slaves in order that they act sexually immoral and they eat idolathouta. This is the word for food sacrificed to idols. It's technically a participle. I don't believe you get that parsing information in your reader's edition here, but I believe you've been given the gloss or the definition for this word previously in Revelation. So to eat food sacrificed to idols. So we're going to put this all together. We have, but I have against you that you tolerate the woman Jezebel, the one calling herself a prophet, and she teaches and she deceives my slaves with the result that they act sexually immorally and eat food sacrificed to idols.